What is up? What is up? What is up, man? This thing even backed up. Oh, there you go. You know what I mean? Yeah. What? Look. Uh-huh. 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 All right. You know what I mean? We're going to back it up over here. I'm backing it up. Ooh. I don't even know. We don't know. We're going to keep it going. What is good, everybody? Hold on, man. Hold on. Bam. Yeah. 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 Okay. Got my dog over here looking at me all crazy. How y'all doing? How's life treating you in 2023? What kind of ideas do y'all have for a brother? Drop them down in the comment, please. If you have any suggestions, put them in the comment. Don't forget to hit that like button. We need them algorithms up. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, please. You know what I mean? Talk about why you don't want to subscribe in the comments, please. Share it to your friends because this may help them. This may help them. You never know. Okay? Okay. We're not going to waste much time. And let me actually make sure we turn down all cellular devices. Turn down all your cellular devices while you're watching this video, please. Yes, you. Turn down your cellular device. I don't want to hear no pings while I'm speaking. Take off your pings. I don't want to hear no pings, okay? No pings. 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 For today's topic, we are going to be discussing... I want to grab this book so I can show you. But the topic is mastery. What is mastery? Let's look it up. And you know what I'm using today. You know what I'm fixing to use. Today. Pull out that Merriam-Webster. I had hopped into Merriam and was about to type in Merriam. Excuse the birds. They want to chirp today. It's their prime time to be singing. So it may mess this up. The definition of mastery. The first definition. The authority of a master. On 1B it says the upper hand in a contest or competition. Superiority, ascendancy. Number 2, this is 2A. Possession or display of great skill or technique. This is probably what we're going to be discussing, is the second one. The B says skill or knowledge that makes one master of a subject. And it says command, which I don't understand right now. But those two are what we're going to be discussing. It's the possession or display of great skill or technique, and that skill or knowledge that makes one a master. So this is my own 2 cents, but this is something that has made a great impact on my life when I decided to try to get this mastery on. When I say the word mastery, what do you feel? How do you feel? Do you feel like, mastery? Okay. Keep in mind, my energy may not be what you're hoping to hear from the word mastery. But at the same time, look, you still feel a certain way when you hear the word mastery. Do you feel like, hey, I'm ready to get this mastered on? Like, you know what I mean? Bruce Lee, he a master. Or do you feel like it's something that is going to be time-wasting, boring, aggravating, irritating? It may be. But I'm coming to learn you're going to have to put in that work. No matter if it's boring, if it's hard, if it's difficult, because that is those moments you got to show yourself. It builds you to that mastery. I'm going to give you a little instance, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about this book real quick before I go ahead and do what I do. When you're editing, you're doing a lot of mini cuts, a lot of, especially if you're trying to do an articulate video, something that is going to be popping out to people. A lot of these videos on this channel may not be the best right now. Down the line, I may get the energy to do the crazy stuff like I want to, or hire somebody that can do all the crazy stuff that I want to. Even after all that, I'm doing the editing at this point in time. A lot of the editing is happening for myself, so it can be boring. Some videos I edit are like hours long, an hour, maybe 2 hours long. A lot of them, when you put all the clips together, it's like 30 minutes worth of clips, 40 minutes worth of clips, or segments, frames, and you gotta figure out how to put them into a cohesive project to where people can look at them and chill out. When I'm editing, I hate it. I hate editing. I do so much. It just, it's time wasting for me. I be on there and I'm like, click, click, cut. What's next? Click, click, cut. And I'm like, yeah, this ain't it. For me, when I'm doing that project or I'm editing a project, I do not make a save or start over the next day or just take a break unless I guess I'm editing a movie, but I'm usually not for these videos. So I tried to edit all my videos in a sitting. And I remember when I was first editing this video, it would take me 8 hours to edit a good video and post them up. Like when I was doing my skits, I made a lot of skits and stuff by myself with just stable, you know what I mean, no moving of the camera, usually just me by myself in front of it, me acting as different characters, and I'll edit up the videos and post them on the YouTube. The YouTube. I did that and it was time consuming. It was time consuming. But at the end of the day, you have to put in that work if you want to have a good project, if you want to have something that people can look at and enjoy. You got to put in that work. You got to put in that time, that effort. That's it. It's going to be hard. But at the end, you're going to love the results. You're going to love the time that you put in. You're going to feel good about it. You're going to feel energized about it. It should bring you a little bit more closer to doing it again, trying to, you know what I mean, keep that routine of that energy. When you got that energy and you get that mask, oh yeah, I want to. Let's talk about the book. So this book that I'm going to be talking about is called Mastery by Robert Greene. And I'll read to you what the back of it says, and then I kind of, give you my ideas of what he talks about. So it goes, this vital work distills the wisdom of the ages to reveal that, okay, I'm not going to read the book about, I'm not. But some things that they talk about is discover your calling, submit to reality, absorb the master's power, see people as they are, awaken the dimensional mind. Stuff that is thought-provoking, okay? So in this book, he goes over important people like masters all over the place. Leonardo da Vinci, Charles Darwin. I think he talks about Muhammad Ali at one point in time. But he goes over these people who are masters in their own realm and goes over their lives, understand what decisions they made, how their thought process were, and adds quotes from them that kind of relate to how we work and how we can also achieve mastery. So I'm going to give you one example of one of the people that I was able to thumb through it real quick to kind of talk to you about, and then kind of give you my own little spin of mastery. So he talks about Charles Darwin. And for a lot of people who may not know who Charles Darwin is, do your research. Google him. Google him. Google him. All right. Look. But Charles Darwin was a person that learned about how things evolve over the time and how certain species, if they were to travel to another place, they would develop certain things. For instance, giraffes. You know what I mean? They say that giraffes' necks are tall because they have to reach high things. That adaptation of that was something that Charles Darwin had talked about. Let me go ahead and research that before. Yeah, I was right. I was spot on. You know what I mean? This man was an evolutionary, yes, you know what I mean? He learned about evolutionary. He was a specialist in how things evolved over time. You know what I mean? I don't know what the name, the term was. But I knew my history. I know a little bit of my history just because in the story he talks about how at first Charles' dad wanted him to be in a type of, you know what I mean? Charles wasn't the smartest. He wasn't the smartest. He really wasn't built to be in a, I guess, successful job when it was coming out of school. He liked the other things. So his dad had told him about this voyage. This is a ship trip. They were traveling across the seas to another place to learn about the areas that was going on too, and they needed somebody who was a naturalist. And at the time, Charles Darwin is loving nature. You know, that's all he does. He will sit outside and just look at it and just observe how things will change over time. So growing up, he ends up learning how to become a naturalist. He gets on the voyage and stuff like that. They talk about how on the voyage he learns about people. He starts to look at people and how everybody would have a certain type of personality on the ship when things would happen. Finally, they would get to the island and he was able to kind of look through all the wonderful things. But again, they said that he was going through years of learning about barnacles. He went through so many other routes, and I may be doing a bad explanation of this and stuff like that, but he went through other routes to learn what he truly loves. He was doing one thing, and while he was doing that, he found other things on his way to become the master that he is. So I'm saying all of this to say, if you want to be a master at something, whether it's, I don't know, being a master at basketball, being a master at sports, being a master at computers, being somebody to invent something new. If you want to have the newest invention, if you want to do that, I got you. I'm going to teach you right now. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you want to be a master at nursing and taking care of people, if you want to be a master at talking, if you want to be a master at listening, you can literally be a master at anything. But how to be a master, you ask me? I'm beating around the bush. So this is what you should do. Take your subject and break it up into compartments. Break it up into compartments. What does that mean? First off, if the route that you're choosing, you probably need a certificate or you probably need to go to school, then you take your butt to school. But for instance, if you were trying to do something with your hands and you're trying to be hands-on with building something or learning computers, like learning computers is something that you necessarily don't have to have a certification to show somebody that you're good at computers. It's necessary. But for instance, if you're trying to learn how to do computers, there are so many books out there that will teach you the basics and fundamentals of how to do all the minor stuff. Look up YouTube videos right now. Like in this day and age, you can be a master at anything with YouTube. Anything. So you have to do a bunch of research, okay? Every day, you gotta wake up with that on your mind. Like, I want to be this. This is something that I want to be. You gotta have it in your mind 24/7. If you want to be a gamer, a surfer, a swimmer, if you want to be a dancer, if you want to clean for your life, if you want to be a president, be a lawyer, there are always the first steps of learning how to build from that. Literally anything you can search on YouTube. Type it in. Just type in what you would like to be. And then put a how-to, right? How to be a comedian. How to build a business. How to play games. How to be a gamer. Okay. If stuff costs money, you can't rob a bank. You got to be able to stack up the money, earn the money, and then you can be able to work for it. But if it does not cost money and it costs you having to learn and you having to research, then you got to put in that time to do the research, to learn. Type in how to build houses, okay? And watch the first couple of videos. And then when you see the first couple of videos, you will kind of get an idea of okay, this is what I need. Then you got to try it out. You got to experiment. You got to work at it. You got to try. any knowledge that you're getting, you got to try and apply it to see if it's working or not. Even if you want to be a therapist, a lot of the stuff that you're going to do, it probably going to require some kind of schooling, like some type of schooling. Something to where a person that's already familiar with that field can teach you the works of it. For me, I went to school for ultimately media arts, which is film and digital media, but more on the sense of the theories, the historical foundations of where they built all the stuff to where we are right here, to where I can record a video in this unorthodox format, which is probably natural to you, and then put it on YouTube. But at the same time, there are certain things that I had to learn. Like, for instance, I started off learning about. Okay, let me back it up a little bit. I remember the first time I was interested in making skits. I remember my mom, there was like this $10 camera. It was like cheap. It was on sale at Big Lots. And I was like, ooh, I want this camera. I finally got the camera, and the first thing I did was like go around people and friends in the teen center, which is like the center for the teenagers, a boys and girls club for teens, and going around recording people. I made a whole montage of all my clips and stuff like that. I remember going up to the homies and like, hey, at that time again, it was like people jerking. You're a jerk, I know. You're a jerk, I know. And I was recording all them dance, and I'll edit the videos, use a movie maker, and this is something that I wanted to do. I didn't learn how to do that. I picked it up and I learned how to do it. I was like, okay, I don't remember how I even came up about it. I just knew that this is what I needed to do. Camera. After that, take the SD card. I remember we need a little card and stuff like that, because eventually you'll notice you get a camera, it still won't work. You need batteries. Okay, you get the batteries, it still won't work. Oh, why? Because it needs a memory card. So, okay, you go to the store, you get a memory card. Now you're recording. You're recording the stuff that you want to do. And he's like, okay, what I'm going to do with these little clips? Okay, you got to put it into something. They'll tell you, put it into a computer. You finally can see all the clips and everything. You're like, dang. And you can take those individual clips and put them on YouTube right then and there. But sometimes people don't want to see like a little 10-second clip and that's it. You know what I mean? They want to see multiple different things. They want to see different types of cuts. They want to see stuff that keeps their eyes attending. So what it is, they will teach you about an interface to help you, you know what I mean? Chop them up and put them together. Something similar to what they did back in the day. So we ain't got no long film. We ain't got no film. Everything's digital. So that was like when I was like 12 years ago. So I was like 13, 14, 15. I was around those ages. Yeah, you can pinpoint my age from that point in time. 12 years ago, yes sir. I just remember the fascination that I had. I remember there was this camera called the Flip. I think it was called the Flip. And it was this rectangular camera that kind of looked like a phone today. It was like a phone today, but it just had like a one big old camera right here, and you would press the button on the front, and you would just record everything right now. I swear it was called a Flip or something like that. I love that camera. I did. I was trying to go everywhere. It was just the camera to use, and I lost it somewhere. Somebody stole it from me. Yeah. Growing up, I was able to get another camera that I used to make a lot of videos. A lot of videos growing up. I used it to make all my dancing videos, and then eventually I picked it back up. I don't know what happened. I had lost the love of making videos somewhere in high school, just going through my own life. I picked it back up in college when I was working as a desk attendant. And I was just making skits because I just like to make skits while I was working in my studio apartment. And I think that was it. I made some dance videos in some of the parks and stuff like that. I was in, during the college areas. But at that time, I wasn't doing nothing that had to do with cameras. I was freaking doing athletic training and computer science. It wasn't until I was doing computer science and I was taking all these math classes, I was like, nah, this is not it. Eventually, I was like, I'm about to give up. I'm going to give up. Give all this up. I read that book, Healing Wisdoms of Africa. Remember that? I read that book, and it told me about doing something that you do in your free time. And I was watching YouTube videos. And I was like, man, why am I being foolish? I've been making videos my entire life. This is something I know at the back of my hand. That's what I did. I went ahead and did that on the media arts and got it over with. But when I took the media arts, I didn't get the chance to be really hands-on, because there was another type of curriculum or degree called IFDM, which is the Interdisciplinary Film and Digital Media. And I was all like, wow, That's crazy. And it's so funny because towards the end of my schooling, they put them both together because they realized that why are we separating these two? We should have been putting them together. And I was like, well, dang, that's my luck right there. But at the same time, I already knew how to hold the camera and what to do with the camera and stuff like that. I still learned a lot of the things that people who are in corporate today know. I still know many techniques to make I should make a video for you right now just to show you my code skills, but I'm too lazy. But I'll show you a little something down the line just to show my stuff. Okay, I'm getting rudely interrupted, so it's time for me to finish up the scene. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, whatever you want to do in life, whatever is meant for you to do in life. You remember the life purpose video? Go ahead and check that video out. But whatever you are meant to do in life, you are going to feel it. You're going to feel it. When you feel that sensation towards whatever you've been doing majority of your life, whatever you find yourself playing with, whatever you find yourself just messing around every single time, that's what you're meant to do. But with that, there are foundational levels. There are literally basic levels that you need to know. The first steps for everything. And the more you continue practicing what you're loving to do, the more you pick up the nuances, the more you find out what's better, what's not, what works, what does not work. The whole essence of mastery in my mind is consistency, persistence. I'll probably spit into my camera when I said that. But being persistent and being consistent, literally on whatever you want to do, you're gonna be a master. There's a little thing that says 10,000 hours and you'll be a master. If let's put down what's 10,000 hours. Let's do the math of it. Who likes math? Nobody likes math. Okay, cool. So 10,000 hours. Okay. Say that you don't work. Okay, you don't work, but you want to put in at least 8 hours a day into doing what this is. So if you say there are 10,000 hours divided by 8 hours a day, okay, that is 1,250 days. But if you divide that by, if you do that every single day, so 365 days, that's 2.5. That's 2.5. I can't read, obviously. That is 3.4 years. If you were to spend 8 hours a day, Monday through Sunday, you know what I mean? And let's try to do it in a different way, okay? Let's say that you do 40 hours a week. That's 8 hours for 5 days a week. That's taking weekends off, okay? So 10,000 divided by 40 a week, that's 250 weeks, okay? Divided by 52 weeks in a year, that's 4.8. That's 5 years. 3 to 5 years, and you can become a master at anything. But what does that mean? What you should be doing in those hours? You should be learning. You need to be grinding. You need to be researching. You need to be looking at your mentors, looking at people who are doing what you're doing, and trying to understand a style that you can do in your own lane. If you want to replicate them and become a copycat, that's cool. Just find your own unique path, because there are blueprints. Just find your own unique path. I just be making these videos, talking on there just to have some content that y'all can hopefully get inspired by. It ain't nothing crazy. It ain't nothing that I'm trying to be the father of knowledge, but I want to be able to react to things and I want to be able to have my own perspective on. So that's mastery. It's consistent, persistence, and discipline. Faith, being able to just trust in yourself and your ability. It's about finding a community that does the same thing that you do, to where you can have a little competition. It's always good to have some friendly competition, to be inspired by somebody doing better than you. So that way you understand where's the mark at and what you need to go to strive for that mark. There are so many different ways. But again, consistency, persistency, having that discipline to continue to do it every single day, or for as long as you need to. Focus, that grind mentality, tunnel vision. That's the route to mastery. Don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to try it and fail. That's the way to mastery. I'll do these videos until I get them right. Then eventually, I'll be on point. So, right now you are enjoying the beginning stages of where I'm at. Because I'm dedicated. This is your boy Styg. And you about to watch me reach mastery myself through these videos. And hopefully you can enjoy the journey of them. At the same time, I'm out of here. If y'all want part 2, if y'all want me to go more in depth, because I think that was just an ugly explanation, but I tried. If you want to go more in depth, like, comment, share, subscribe. You know what I mean? All that. Make sure you turn on notifications on. Make sure you subscribe to your boy. You know what I mean? All right, man. It's your boy Styg. We signing out of here. Peace. Oh, didn't press the button this time.